Hello, friends. You know, if I was a well-established movie director with films that I directed going back decades, and my daughter was a talented singer-songwriter that recently debuted, yeah, I would also build an entire film around her. Hey there, movie lovers. Welcome back. It's your movie buddy here, ready to get into the next movie on the shortening list of movies that I need to catch up on. I posted a poll to the community tab on YouTube, and you guys unexpectedly voted for Alien Romulus by like a lot. But I was already more than halfway done with the script for this episode, so I just decided to finish it and post it today. If you're looking for the episode on Alien Romulus, I am going to post that episode on Saturday. I've already got a lot done. I am going to post both, but I just wanted to work on one episode at a time. If you are looking for detailed plot breakdowns, you won't find them here, but stick around for my spoiler-free thoughts and honest opinions, usually on the latest releases, but right now I'm just trying to get back on track. And I am getting back on track. I always try to be spoiler-free or give spoiler warnings because I cannot stand spoilers. There is a detail in this movie that we are going to talk about in this episode. It is plain as day in the trailers. If you've seen the trailers, then you're good. But if you're going into this movie knowing as little as possible and you also haven't seen the trailers, you might want to come back to this video after you've seen the movie. Anyway, any TikToks and articles I've mentioned in today's episode and more will be linked in the description below. And if you're here with me on YouTube, you can find timestamps in the video description to jump straight to the sections that you're most interested in. New reviews drop every Friday and in some cases on a Saturday, so hit that subscribe button on YouTube and follow on Spotify to stay updated. So grab your popcorn, find your seats, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, and let's get into today's episode on Trap. A father and daughter attend a concert for their favorite pop star, but the concert is actually a sting operation to catch a serial killer. As always, I want to get into the themes of the film, or at least what I took from the movie. Trap explores some interesting themes like the complexities of human nature, the duality of human nature, deception, and double lives. All that to say the same thing. The film's primary focus is the complexities of our main character, Cooper. Specifically, the two sides, the father and the serial killer. That contrast is the core of the film, and it is executed brilliantly. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of rooting for him. I was rooting for the father that was just trying to make one of his daughter's dreams come true by taking her to see her favorite artist in concert. That dynamic, coupled with Josh Hartnett's performance as Cooper, was so engaging. Let's talk about that because he's got this effortless charm that makes the character, and beyond that, the movie, work so well. And I have to say, as a parent myself, to one dog, I love the parent-child relationship between him and Ariel Donoghue, who plays his daughter, Riley. Their chemistry is believable and heartfelt, and it's what makes their relationship so captivating. Okay, honestly, was I rooting for the serial killer? No. Okay, maybe a little. What really kept me hooked was watching him trying to figure out how he was going to escape. What's his next move? How long can he keep Riley from his truths? The film does an incredible job, largely thanks to Hartnett's acting, showing us both sides and how effortlessly someone can go from one side to the other. And I was hooked. At this point, we usually get into character development, but instead, we're going to talk a little bit about the inspiration and the story. I didn't know until I was doing research for this episode that the movie is inspired by real events. I honestly thought this was just a vehicle for the director M. Night to showcase his daughter's singing and songwriting career. I mean, it is, but there's also some inspo here. According to BBC.com, the events of the film are actually inspired by a real-life case from 4 decades ago, known as Operation Flagship. The 1985 sting saw more than 100 criminals arrested after they were lured to a fake TV station thinking they had won free NFL tickets. Is it bad that I think this would totally work on me? For the record, I'm not a criminal, but free tickets to an NFL game? Have y'all seen those ticket prices? Around 3,000 fugitives were offered complimentary tickets to watch a Washington Redskins game now the Washington Commanders, and were told that they would have the chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to the Super Bowl. But when nearly 120 of them turned up at the headquarters of a fictional TV company to claim their prize, they were arrested. According to M. Night, he remembers hearing about it when he was a kid, and he thought it was absurd that it actually happened and that it was something that stuck with him. I think this is absolutely wild, and obviously it's real life. It's complicated, but it makes for such a unique and interesting premise for a film. M. Night uses this real-life event to craft a captivating narrative that explores the complex duality of human nature. The movie starts us off strong, showing the relationship between Cooper and Riley, father and daughter, in such a wholesome and relatable way. There's a normalcy there that really sets us up as an audience because of how relatable Cooper is. We're made to trust him and be comfortable with him because he just seems like a regular guy doing something sweet for his daughter. And that is what makes the darker side of the story so compelling. Moving on to the acting, the entire cast is great. I really like Jonathan Langdon as the venue vendor, Jamie. He added so much humor that nicely balances some of the heavier moments of the film. Haley Mills as FBI profiler, Dr. Josephine Grant. She brought an air of authority to the role and was really believable as a seasoned profiler. I also liked Allison Pill as Rachel, Riley's mom and Cooper's wife. I haven't seen her since Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and I thought she did a really good job in this movie, and she has a few really standout moments. Ariel Donoghue as Riley is fantastic. You can really feel her energy and passion for her favorite artist, Lady Raven, and that excitement comes through the screen. What's even more impressive is how her reactions evolve as the movie progresses. Her responses to everything happening around her feel so authentic and natural. Salika Shyamalan absolutely shines when she is on stage singing as Lady Raven. This is definitely when she is at her best. She sounds incredible. Not music I would blast in my car, but I absolutely get the vibe. The lyrics and the beat of her music are so good. She's undeniably talented, but I think her acting could have been stronger. I will say though that there were a few moments of her acting that I did like. I really just wanted to talk about her singing for a second because I really do like her voice and her music is really good, especially if that's the type of music that you gravitate toward. We are not going to end this section without talking about Josh Hartnett. Incredible. This is one of those performances where you just wonder where he's been. He is so talented that you want to see him in more roles. As Cooper, he's an absolute treat to watch. Despite some moments the script presented that were weird or silly, even in those moments, his acting is amazing. What's so captivating here, in my opinion, is the flawless switch between the serial killer and the father. It's the way he transitions from like the sharp darkness in the eyes to the warmth of the eyes. It's so effortless and it's so convincing. Now let's wrap up with my final thoughts on the movie. After discussing some key elements, the real question remains, is it worth your time? In my opinion, yes. But I think it's important to know that this movie doesn't take itself seriously, and there are some moments that get kind of silly, unbelievable, or might even make you roll your eyes, but somehow it's endearing and part of the fun. I think this movie is strongest in the first half, and I really love the concert and venue setting. I love watching Cooper realizing what's happening and trying to figure out how he can get out. The second half pushes it and gets closer to that silly, unbelievable, maybe having you roll your eyes territory, but I still enjoyed it because I was so invested in watching Cooper navigate these situations he kept finding himself in. Josh Hartnett's performance truly elevates the entire film, particularly in how convincingly he switches between the two sides of this character. The concept of the film is interesting and pretty original, keeping you hooked and wondering how everything would come together in the end. Of course, every movie has its pros and cons, and naturally, people like what they like. We're gonna get into some critiques I've seen on the movie, and I'll share my thoughts. Most reviews I saw were people that flat out did not like this movie, or they were nitpicking. I don't mean it in that way, but more like they didn't like the things that I personally don't think were that big of a deal, so take these critiques and my opinion as you will. Someone said that the film was lacking in the third act because it wasn't intense or brutal, but that they really enjoyed the movie overall. I wanted to talk about this comment because I can see where this person is coming from. However, I think the intensity, that level of action they might have been expecting, is in the performances and the story itself rather than that brutal physical violence. Another critique I saw was that no one seemed to notice Cooper's actions, like when he grabs a walkie-talkie, when he grabs a bracelet or an apron right in front of everyone. This is definitely one of those movies that's best enjoyed when you suspend your disbelief, because if you spend the entire movie calling out these moments or wondering why nobody is noticing anything he's doing, I don't think you'll be able to have as much fun with this movie. A critique I found that I completely agree with: the dialogue is choppy. Yeah, it gets kind of muddy in places and you can get taken out of the movie by that. But I think there's an endearing, cheesy, kind of charming quality to the dialogue. Yeah, I did laugh at it sometimes, but that just added to the fun. I linked a TikTok in the description of this episode where 3C Films on TikTok talks about his thoughts and opinions, and there's a lot there that I agree with. So we're going to touch on some things he mentions while getting into my personal issues with the movie. I think the movie's third act is weak. There are some moments here and there that I did like, but I think it was really brought down by Salika's acting. I feel bad saying that, especially because she is very talented. I really did like her in the first half, and there are a few moments of her acting again that I did like. But in the third act, her performance just didn't carry the weight of the story and the silly that it needed to work as well as the rest of the movie. One thing that 3C Films said that I wanted to talk about was the fact that the third act is silly. I see where the movie was going, and I think it wouldn't have been as silly if a strong foundation was set to support it. Again, maybe stronger acting here would have made the third act come across less silly, especially in the moments with Josh Hartnett's Cooper. Have you had the chance to watch Trap yet? If not, what's holding you back? Is it not your cup of tea, not your usual genre? Do you not like M. Night Shyamalan films? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts after today's episode, and if you've already watched it, I want to know your take. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or did you fall somewhere in between? Share your thoughts, opinions, and reactions in the comments below. I am all ears. Overall, Trap is a fun movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's part of its charm. I would also say that it's good on a rewatch. I watched it twice at home, and knowing everything that's going to happen makes it interesting to watch everything unfold from a different perspective. I'd say this is a thriller worth watching, even if it's just for Josh Hartnett's stellar performance. The compartmentalization is thoughtfully portrayed, and I love the feeling of suspense when his two worlds start to come together. Trap is PG-13, so you're not going to get crazy gore or blood, and there are really no jump scares. But what the film does well is immerse you into the story and atmosphere, even if there are some silly moments or dialogue that threaten to pull you out of the movie. The suspense is fantastic, and the story is compelling enough, even without the big twist that I feel people have come to expect from an M. Night Shyamalan film. I love the concert setting, and the music in this movie is fantastic. Not just Salika's music, but the score as well. Trap also has some great moments where the lighting and camera work really stand out. I especially love the use of deep focus, and that's when the foreground, middle ground, and background are all in focus. This technique, coupled with the close-up shots, further immerse us into the movie. All right, you guys, before we wrap up, I want to talk about what movies I'll be sharing my thoughts on next. I was so optimistic about putting 2 episodes out last week. I did not account for longer shifts at work and the fact that there was 0 phone signal when we went camping over the weekend. I planned to get in a few hours of writing for a couple of days when we were in the outside, but that did not happen. But hey, I am so close to catching up. The next movie we're going to be talking about is going to be Beetlejuice. The next movie I have tickets for is Transformers 1, and I am looking forward to seeing that movie. I had high hopes, but after seeing the trailers, I'm managing my expectations. I think it's going to be a cute and fun movie, but it looks like it's very much for the children, which concerns me. Now, for the children doesn't always mean a bad thing. I mean, we'll see. I got tickets for an early access screening the Saturday after this episode drops. Was it fun? Did we have a good time? I sure hope so. So next time we talk, it will be about Beetlejuice, and Transformers 1. And after that, I have tickets for The Wild Robot, which I'm not going to lie to you guys, I did not plan on watching, but I saw a trailer recently. I think it was the final trailer, and they said it's the greatest DreamWorks movie ever. Oh, word? Because DreamWorks also made the animated masterpieces How to Train Your Dragon and Kung Fu Panda. So that is a very big claim. And I'm not gonna lie, I got. I saw that quote in the trailer and immediately opened up the Cinemark app and bought tickets. So we'll see. The last movie I have tickets for is Joker Folie à Deux, and I'm not looking at early reviews. I never look at reviews. I try to avoid them as much as I can. But there's some buzz about the changes to Harley's character, so I'm interested to see what they did. I also love musicals. I totally don't mind that at all, so we'll see about that movie in October. After I catch up, I can finally get back to the podcast exclusive episodes, and I am very excited to drop more after about, 6 months? 6 months or so, huh? It's been a little while, just a little while. Anyway, if there's a movie that you are excited about and you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments below or send me a message on Instagram at A.Rocket.Review. Your suggestions are always welcome and I love hearing from you. But for now, a huge thank you to everyone who has stuck around with me to the end of the video. Last time we talked, I shared my thoughts on long legs. It's been a whole 2 weeks. I know, but I didn't want to fall behind even more, so I posted a poll to the community tab on YouTube, and you guys voted for Alien Romulus. Again, that episode is posting on Saturday, but if you haven't checked out Long Legs or if Alien Romulus is already posted, then you can check out both of those episodes. They are just a click away. If you're watching today's episode on YouTube, you can find the links to both in the top right corner, unless it's Friday and Alien Romulus is not posted yet. And for my podcast listeners, both episodes will be available for you as well. Your feedback is always appreciated, so please share your thoughts on YouTube in the comments below. And if you're listening on the Spotify app, they added a comment section, so let me know what you're thinking. Do you agree with my take? Do you have a different opinion? Do you think Trap is one of M. Night's better films? It's not my favorite. I am a Signs girly till the day I die. If you've been here long enough, then you know I love Aliens. That one is my number one favorite. And let's just go with the top 3. Off the top, for me, it has to be Split and a hot take, maybe, but The Village. What are your top 3 M. Night movies? Let me know in the comments and let's get the conversation going. If you're enjoying the content on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. For those who prefer on-the-go listening, follow me on Spotify so you don't miss out on our podcast exclusive episodes that are on their way. I promise. And hey, if you're on Instagram, follow me at A.Rocket.Review for sneak peeks and behind the scenes content. And honestly, that's really just me going to the theater and watching movies at home. Feel free to hop into my DMs with movie suggestions or just to chat about films. Your support honestly means so much to me and your engagement helps our community grow. Whether it's on YouTube, the podcast, or on Instagram, your presence is greatly appreciated. So until next time, spread positivity, be safe, take care of yourself, and happy movie watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.